Greetings, everyone. Greetings, greetings, greetings to all my favorite people, all of you badass angels out there who really are looking to step up, who are looking to up their game, to be more confident, have more self-esteem, and really come out strong over the next year and live your dreams. So I am here to introduce the Badass Angel Academy. I am Dr. Joan of Angels. Many of you know me as just Joan of Angels, but I've been encouraged now as the Badass Angel I am to take back my full name and claim my doctorness. And I am a doctor. Dr. Joan Hangarter is my doctor name. And so now I'm going to be Dr. Joan of Angels. I mean, doesn't that sound good? Sounds like a badass angel. So we are going to talk about the Badass Angel Academy and what it is and how it will help you develop confidence and success. It will build up your self-esteem. So this class really is for you if you're not feeling confident of your decisions, if you're always kind of biting your nails like my beautiful daughter does, when she gets anxious, but doubting yourself when you're faced with decisions or challenges. And then because you're so anxious about it, you often make that wrong decision because you're not paying attention to your logical mind. The class is for you if you find it hard to speak up in meetings or negotiate deals for yourself or call up and tell someone, no, this is not going to work for me. In other words, having issues removing that, like I call it a cork from your throat chakra, a plug. So that the course is for all of us who really had issues standing up for ourselves and really being powerful and strong. And when I say class, now we're talking about the Badass Angel Academy, which is going to be my YouTube channel. My new YouTube show is going to be the Badass Angel Academy. I'll tell you about that in a second. I am also going to tell you about my first upcoming class, which is going to be March 20th, 2024, and I will have the details down below how you can join that class. All right, how did I come up with or become a badass angel, guys? And that's a great story. It happened over the summer. I was with Neil and a few other people, and we had to make a decision about our Egyptian tour. We were the tour guides, Neil, Ellen, and I. And how good the tour was based on us, on our ability to successfully manage over 90 people in a strange country. Now, we had official tour guides, saboteurs, they were wonderful, but we still were really in charge every day, needed to connect with the tribe, let everyone know what was going on. And as part of being this leader, and I was stepping into being a spiritual leader, I also realized that the success of the trip depended on us, on our ability to coordinate and make sure everyone had a good time, that we're all on the same wavelength. And there was one person who I knew was not on this wavelength. And I knew deep in my gut that this person would be a problem. I had seen videos of him already getting hauled off by the police and having a violent temper and thinking that he was God. And I was having nightmares about him being in the king's chamber and starting to scream that we should all bow down before him. And the guards really kicking him out and causing problems for all of us. The guys weren't so convinced. Well, they were convinced, but they felt sorry for him. They knew the struggle he had had in raising the 5,500 plus 1,700 for the travel. And so they were going to let it slide. At one point, they suggested that one of our tour members, who paid 5,500 for himself and 5,500 for his beloved, they suggested that he be assigned to bodyguard our person, which I thought was completely nuts. Who would pay $11,000, that's just for the tour, to be assigned to babysit someone who had issues? So I was getting more and more upset. Now, part of my upset was I could see the future. I could see it was a disaster, but the guys weren't confirming it. They were very lukewarm. Because they were lukewarm, but because I knew that as a spiritual leader, and the whole trip relied on me and them on creating a team and creating a group that's cohesive, I was getting anxious, and the guys didn't have boundaries, and so it was up to me. And Neil actually said to me, if you feel that strongly about it, Joan, you're going to have to do it. So now I'm a chicken. I have had trouble confronting and telling the truth and being upfront and honest, and it's always very painful for me. So I picked up the phone. I'm so proud of myself. I picked up the phone and I dialed. Meanwhile, Neil is saging me. He's saging me with all sorts of sage. He said, Joan, I bet you didn't know that there were 4 different types of sage. And so he's saging me, and I'm focusing on, I'm just going to do my job. I'm going to tell him he can't come. I'm not going to have a long and drawn out conversation. In fact, I don't even want a conversation. And I will let him know we're reimbursing him. So I did. I said all that. And then he says, well, the friend who I had that argument with is here, and he'd love to talk to you and clarify the situation. And I knew that that would be a disaster for me. Why? Because my mission was announce the news as matter-of-factly as I can, assure him he'll get refunded, and hang up, and he's off the trip. And every time he tried to engage in why don't you speak to them, I said, no, this is it. This is all I called to say. Have a great day. You'll be getting your refund. And I hung up. I was so proud of myself that I screamed out to the room as if there were a lot of people. There were only a couple of people there. I said, I'm a BAA. And everyone looked at me. It's like, well, what's a BAA, Joan? I said, well, a BAA is a badass angel. What's a badass angel, guys? It's one who can use their discernment, project into the future, and make decisions and choose actions that will prevent disaster from happening, because you're listening to your guidance, and enforce boundaries. That's the hard one. Enforce boundaries before disaster happens. So you're assessing the situation, you're making an important decision, and then you're acting on it. So all summer, I started playing with the idea of being a BAA. And just about a week ago, before I left Conscious Life Expo, I was given the guidance that it was time for me to do a Badass Angel workshop. And as I was developing the curriculum for the Badass Angel workshop, which is March 20th, let's see if I have it here. Yeah. Nope, that's not it. That's cute. Here it is. Well, that's not the brochure, though. But I am introducing the Badass Angel Academy, and that was the guidance I got, that I was going to do a weekly YouTube show, so stay tuned to that. But my guide suggested I offer a workshop. What's the workshop? The Badass Angel Academy presents Become a Badass Angel. Unleash your power and your presence. So it's going to be Wednesday, March 20th, 3:30 Pacific time. Probably go for almost 2 hours. You can register here. Here's the registration. It's on Eventbrite, and that will take you. You should write it down. I'll put it in the links below. If you have any questions, reach out at joanofangels.com. So during that class, I'm going to teach you some tools on how to use a discernment meter so you can actually learn how to project yourself into the future, master future sight, and then make decisions based on that. How does that sound, everyone? So if you like the way it sounds, join us for the Badass Angel Academy, March 20th. And I will see you all there. And in the interim, go check out joanofangels.com. This may not be on that website, so go to YouTube and pick up the video, and I'll see you all at my workshop. I think you will love it. Enjoy your day, everyone. I am sending you love, light, happiness, and offering you the gift of tools to become your own BAA. Talk soon. Share it with your friends.